Halloween season is upon us, and that can only mean one thing. It's time to get some candy. And if there's anybody that knows anything about getting candy, it's ya boy. That means me. I went trick-or-treating every year since, well, this year. So I feel I'm qualified to talk about this. Today, I'm going to tell you about the 7 types of houses you and your kids are going to encounter when trick-or-treating. Let's get into it. First thing we need to talk about before we get into any of the houses is you need to be in a good neighborhood. And what I mean by that is you need to be in a rich neighborhood. I hate to break it to you, but if you don't have any trick-or-treaters every year, you live in a bad neighborhood. It's okay. I lived in a bad neighborhood when I was a kid, so me and all the other poor kids would go to a rich neighborhood because nobody's bank account matters when you're wearing a mask. Now, the first one we're going to talk about is the drunk house. That means whoever's working the door is going to be pretty wasted. Now, this could work out in one of 2 ways. They might be a little generous with the candy, but they also might slow you down because you know drunk people, they're working the door. They're going to call everybody in from the kitchen or their living room to look at your costume. Oh, aren't you the cutest police officer I ever seen? Everybody look at him, he's so cute. Patricia, stop. That's the real police. And you live across the street. I don't even know how you got in my house. Up next is the Just Take One house. And what that means is every Halloween, there's some house that's got a bowl of candy sitting right out front. Nobody's watching it. It's always got a little note right there. Oh, just take one. You know, leave some for somebody else. I get it, you know. It's one of the earliest tests you're going to have in your life. One of the greater tests, to be honest. And I've thought about it long and hard. And I agree. I think you should just take one. Bowl of candy. Are you stupid? Nobody just takes one. Next up is the lights off house. And this one is pretty self-explanatory. If the lights are off, then just keep it moving. Don't waste your time. I used to hate this one as a kid. Why aren't you home? I want some candy. You know, I used to hate them until I ran into the next house we're going to talk about. And that's the apples and toothbrushes houses. Again, pretty self-explanatory. This guy's handing out toothbrushes and apples. And I know what some of you are thinking. Oh, but Brent, apples are nature's candy. They're delicious. Well, this is Halloween, Steve Jobs, not the farmer's market. You know, if you give me an apple, I'm going to come back at about 2 a.m. with some eggs, or as I like to call them, nature's graffiti. Up next, we have the ran out of candy house. And these are the houses that are just ill-prepared for Halloween. You know, 30 minutes into trick-or-treating, and they just are out of everything. I remember when I was a kid one time, and this house ran out of candy. This guy was handing out change and Tums. And as a kid, I hated it, you know, but as an adult, I'm like, you're going to pay for my parking and keep me from getting heartburn? This is a win-win. Full-size candy bar houses. And these are always in the best neighborhoods. You know, if they've got an ADT sign and a pool, a well-maintained lawn, at full-size cars, well, then you're getting full-size candy bars. I recommend bringing 2 or 3 costumes from previous years so you can take full advantage of the situation. One of my favorites, and that's the scary house. We've all seen this one. October 1st, they put a dummy out on the lawn to lull you into a false sense of security. Then Halloween night, they switched out the dummy for a real person, and you come walking up on the porch, and then they scare the hell out of you. Trick or treat. Rawr! So that's it. The 7 types of houses you're going to encounter on Halloween. If I forgot one, which I'm sure I did, let me know in the comments below. And if you're handing out candy, maybe think about having an alternative, because there are kids with allergies, gluten intolerance. You know, glow sticks are fun, small toys. Because after all, there's only a couple rules when it comes to Halloween. That's being safe, having fun, and the most important rule of all, no apples.